Comics in the combat zone. Comics in the combat zone. Usually we make you laugh, but now we're watching guys get stabbed with light tubes.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Comics in the Combat Zone. This week, talking about CZW, A Higher Level of Pain from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ben, how are you doing this week?
Good, yeah, good. It was. It's been a good week. It's good to be back.
Yeah, they didn't find either of us in the Epstein files, so we are clear to keep doing the podcast.
Yeah. They redacted a lot, so
Yeah, you'd think this guy would be in there.
that's what I said. Yeah. But I guess not.
No, I guess not. No, it's going to be a fun one this week. Talking about we're in the Viking Hall era. I want to say. I feel like every show we're going to see is from here. For the foreseeable. So.
Yeah. So nice. It's nice. It's an upgrade from like bleachers and a gym.
Yeah, even the camera quality feels like a bit higher.
I think that's to do with us watching this in 720p.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know us. We're not going to get into much banter. We're just going to kick us off here as the music hits and the fans go crazy. As we open this time with Trent Acid, flanked by Johnny Kashmir. He comes out with 2 belts, and I was like, wait, they lost the tag belts last week, right? And then they tell us one of them is a CZW Junior Heavyweight Championship. The other one is never really specified.
Yeah, that's a Chekhov's belt.
But at least we opened this week with, like, stars. I really thought, like, last week when it's, like, especially since our first episode back, to open with, like, the Towel Boy and Hurricane Kid was sort of underwhelming. I've always sort of, like, where do you stand on that with shows? Do you think they should open with a big star, especially when it's a pay-per-view, for lack of a better term?
I mean, it's so you gotta have the right rhythm for a thing. Like, not like every match can't be insane, but I think they were like, even in the realm of CZW, they were below mid card.
Yeah, exactly.
They were Hurricane Kid and whatever. So I don't know. I don't think it was great. I mean, it led into Nate Hatred coming back, but yeah, this was definitely exciting to see sexy oily boys straight away. And 720p as well. You can really see they are hot.
The big stars, and we sort of didn't talk about it last week, but like they're treated like big stars from the crowd, but specifically like the female contingent of the crowd.
Yeah, because they're hot.
You can hear them whenever Trent like plays to the crowd. It's just women cheering, and you can see like their husbands fucking awkward, like grumbling and shit.
But he comes in, great music, great intro stuff. It's a whole vibe. I'm on board with
the belts.
Yeah, we're pro. We're obviously pro Kashmir and Trent Acid.
Yeah, definitely. A big fan of these guys. Then we find out that the commentators say since Trent Acid has 2 belts, he's going to have to defend them both on every show. And so we're getting
both
2
of them?
Yeah, apparently, but he only defended one of them today.
Yeah.
But that was why he wrestled twice, is because he has 2 belts. So
Right,
I don't even know if
okay.
the other belt was like, they might have just found it backstage and were like, take this.
There was that period where CZW were introducing belt after, like, every week there was a new title.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, there was a while where they had the Big Japan Junior Heavyweight Championship, but then their title was in Japan, so they just swapped the belts.
Yeah, so, I mean, I thought that's a cool conceit. I do like that idea, but they don't really.
They make it tough. Like,
Yeah.
you know how some people with some belts want to follow the lineal championship of like who it really would be? CZW is like, they must hate that idea because they made it impossible to trace these back.
They've done it on purpose.
Yeah,
There's no way to know.
So Acid gets a microphone, and it's funny because the fans are cheering for him, treating him like a big star, and as soon as he goes to talk, there's like a loud, overwhelming shut the fuck up chant. It just fills this arena. But again, it's heel heat, baby.
Yeah, they are. They're sort of. They're walking that line well of like heels. Like they're not baby faces, they are heels, but you're sort of like, hell yeah.
They're DX style.
Yeah,
like everyone thinks they're sick. And like, you know, they get insulted a lot, but you can tell they're into them when they start to wrestle. So he's complaining about having to defend his belts twice. Doesn't say much else. Cue Nick Burke. And we're off to the races here with Nick Burke. He comes out in a silk bathrobe. I don't know what this was. I knew what it was meant to be. It was meant to be like a boxer robe.
Yeah.
But it was like skin tight.
Yeah, the silk call boy. Yeah, it was.
It didn't have any of the like trim either. It was,
No, and it looked silly when he took it off and he's just got like his wrestling gear, like his like pants on, his Spanx.
You know, he probably ordered this like 2 months earlier and was like, "Oh, when it shows up, this is gonna be. I can't wait for this entrance."
They're gonna go crazy.
And then
Zandig's gonna love me.
Like, have you ever had that where you buy something and it isn't quite what you thought it would be, but you just want it to be cool anyway, so you just pretend it isn't?
Yeah, drugs.
Yeah, But yeah, it feels like that. It's like he wore this out here, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is that?" He also comes out drinking a Red Bull, which I think is great product placement.
Yeah, it's ahead of the curve as well. Energy drinks weren't on their hot shit like they are now back then. This was hardcore.
Yeah, imagine if instead of gives you wings, it's like Red Bull makes you ultra violent.
Yeah, Nick Burke.
Yeah, he'll turn into Nick Burke.
Yeah.
And he is flanked by Ty Street and Zabar, so we have at least kept this faction together as they enter. I thought these guys had really good chemistry early. I was like sort of already like ready to be bored because I find Nick Burke openers are a bit like, ugh.
Yeah,
they put my brain in passive mode.
Yeah, like I was really surprised how like it was very energetic to start. They were doing some cool. They looked cool while they were doing moves. That's the main thing. Like I was like, holy shit, Nick Burke.
Yeah, Acid does a crazy suicide dive, which basically misses, but the crowds just chant CZ dub.
Yeah.
He looks like he almost died. And then Zabar, they bring up that I totally forgot about this. He's like, oh yeah, Zabar and Trent Acid used to be stablemates and the big deals. And
oh yeah.
Again, it made me so happy that we had to like revitalize this podcast, but you're not missing anything if you didn't hear the before because we don't remember any of it either.
Completely. Yeah, because there was a period, because I like to imagine that the backseat boys have always, but there was a period where they weren't together and then they reunited, right?
Yeah, they had like a year-long feud together.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, Trent Acid's just in full control here. He does a crazy reverse suplex, like not a regular suplex to the floor, like Nick's back is turned to him, a reverse suplex to the outside, where it just gives Nick no way to protect himself. He just wipes out on the concrete. And then, you know when someone's got the pinfall on him and they try to matrix out? Acid tried to do the matrix out of the pinfall and just fully failed at it. And it really is one of those moves that you have to pull off, or else a crowd like this just jumps all over you. Because it's like you're trying to be cocky and show off your athleticism and then fuck it up. And Nick responds. It's almost like he can hear the crowd chanting, so he just grabs Trent from the waist and throws him overhead with a German.
It was pretty good.
Which gets him right back into it, yeah. Acid reverses, and at one point he locks in a Boston Crab. This is when the softcore connection appears. Ty Street distracts the referee, with Zabar throws a bunch of powder, and of course it hits Nick Burke, because he can't do anything right?
Yeah.
Burke hits his Burke driver. Cashmere's too far to grab the referee to break up the count here, but the ref just pretends someone grabbed his foot. It's almost like he noticed Cashmere by his foot and was like, what are you doing? So he just fucked up the timing here. And then Burke is finally going for the Burke-a-set when, again, Zabar walks in. He wants like to do like a double team move with Burke, and in this sort of like momentary pause, Acid gives both of them Yakuza kicks and then pins Nick Burke at 11 minutes, 55 seconds, which if you told me a 12-minute Nick Burke opener, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible.
Yeah, it's good.
Wasn't terrible.
Those Yakuza kicks were so clean from Trent Acid. They were great. Yeah.
It is great. He's just like, it's his like haluva kick, but just not in the corner. He just whips him out anywhere.
And he is like, it is one of the biggest shames, I think, because I think he would have gone on to be like a big star. But yeah, he's so good.
Well, it's honestly, he would have like people always compare to Shawn Michaels. And to me, it's like, well, Shawn Michaels overcame his drug addictions and became a big star. Acid didn't. Like, to me, that's the biggest difference. It's like...
Trent Acid is to blame for his own downfall.
Sorta. Unless, it's a disease.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I say when I drink. But yeah, totally above average, enjoyable opener. Trent reclaims his junior heavyweight title, and then we are teasing dissension with the softcore connection. I couldn't wait for that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Like Zabar messing up, like it makes sense. But I'm pretty sure they've been teasing this for so long.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like last week, we were like, oh, so they're together now.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad we were joking about that because this week it's like, nope, there's more dissension.
Yeah.
So then we cut to get a 4 tag team mayhem. This was such classic CZW because whoever came up with this idea in the back didn't tell the people in the match or commentary.
Yeah.
So we get out first, the reformed Chris Cash and GQ. They're knowing, I forget what they're calling them now, like the new school, I think, because, they're the young, hungry guys. And then right after, Softcore Connection is just back in the next match with Zabar and Ty Street. And then they do a spot where they fuck up a high five.
Yeah,
and
pretty funny.
Zabar hits him in the face. And yeah, then the bell rings. And so it's only these two teams, but it's clear both teams in the ring think another team's coming. Because like these are both heel teams. So they start chatting and like, oh, we're going to like fuck up whoever comes in next. And then the bell rings and commentators like, this is going to be a 2-minute period until another team comes
Yeah,
out.
I wouldn't want to be that team that's coming in now.
And then everyone stands around awkwardly for like 30 seconds. And then just more music hits and a third team comes out. And it's like, you can tell someone's scrambling. Like, they realize the miscommunication as it's happening and just has to, like, it was fucking terrible. So we get Ian Knox and Chris Styles. And they just, like, rush to the ring. And then all 4 guys start beating the shit out of them. They're like, finally, we can do something.
Yeah.
Well, like, what was this, man? This is like,
they messed that up. I mean,
I know you don't have to rehearse everything, but can you not have a conversation?
yeah,
Like,
you should at least know what type of match you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it does kill the flow as well because they've done well. It is always commendable when CZW has a good match on. So So I'm always, I'm like, my kid's not very good at sports, but he's running the egg and spoon race, and I'm cheering him on, and like he like trips up. And like now it's the same where I'm like, I want you to do so well. Like I believe in you. And then, they have moments like this where it's like, it's clearly not there yet.
Yeah, I saw the 2 steps forward. And
Yeah.
now we're watching the 1 step back.
Yeah, the egg drop.
And it's funny. Like immediately, Knox and Styles get the better of these 4 guys and clean the ring. And then Ty and Z come sneak chairs in and just hit them with chairs. And the commentary says it right before I can think of like, I thought these guys were soft core. I thought that was their whole gimmick. It's like,
No, this long-term storytelling.
they don't use weapons, but no, they're long term. We get the 4-way beatdown continues, and it's clear it's another one of these cases where all of these guys are so new and green that none of them know how to do multi-man matches. So you see a lot of guys in the corners like extended choke spots, or just like guys sort of wandering around.
Yeah, like looking over their shoulder for ages while they're
Getting
like,
in the crowd's face.
Yeah,
like lack of anything better to do.
And it does show how hard, like it does give you a respect for like the wrestlers who can make it look easy when you're just like, oh, it must be easy if you've got loads in the ring, like when there's a Royal Rumble or whatever, when you're like, no, because it feels doubly worse when there's loads of people in the ring and you're like, this is dog shit. Like there's no way it should be this bad when there's this many people beating each other up.
Yeah, it should be cooler.
Yeah, it should be easily cool, but no, it's you just feel so out of it.
So the heels get control of these baby faces, and they put 2 chairs. Ian Knox is like between 2 chairs. Zabar just stomps it, and then Ty puts him in a leg lock, and the guy just taps out. And I was like, the bell rings? We've only got 3 teams in this 4 tag team mayhem match.
Yeah, they didn't really.
Apparently, they're eliminated. And then out comes the hardest working tag team in wrestling, VD, the current tag team champs. Oh, yeah. The current tag team champs come down, and they're the 4th team in this after one of the teams. So at no point was there 4 teams creating mayhem here.
No.
There was 3, and then 1 left, and now there's 3 still.
So like either maybe VD were like, we're not ready yet. We still need to oil up or whatever, like in the film The Wrestler, and they're not ready to go. And they're like, well, we need to send these guys out.
Yeah.
Like it's very bad. Like, and I like the tag team division. I've been a apologist for it, but yeah, there's no need that this was so shit. Especially after like you see Kashmir and Acid come out, and you're like, why aren't these guys in it? Just put those guys in it.
Definitely, and to the point where it's almost like, why don't you just cut softcore because we just saw them? Why don't you put the 2 young teams together and give them like 10 minutes?
Yeah,
and then have VD come and fuck them up or something, or just don't involve VD. Like, there's so many things you could do where you don't need to overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the heels rush them and get an immediate advantage on VD, but then VD slip between all 4 heels, and both of them do double Saito suplexes, which is crazy. Like, I know I've said it before, but when they're doing these Saito doubles, usually they'd use one of their arms to protect the guy a bit, but since they can't, they're just dumping these guys on their heads. Like, in this spot particularly, 2 of them just take the bump right on their necks. And then they do the chair to the face drop kick powerbomb combo that they were doing last week, where Smack Mac, who I forgot to mention here, is out here. He's only here to hold a chair in front of guys' faces so that Eddie Valentine can drop kick those chairs.
He's really nothing without wife beater. Like he is such a lesser person without wife beater.
There are some managers in wrestling history that could manage anyone and be great. Like Bobby Heenan jumps to mind. Like, you can give him anyone and he'll enhance it. And then there's other guys like Paul Bearer, where it's like, if you put him with anyone other than The Undertaker, it doesn't work.
Although, full respect, we're not putting Paul Bearer in the realm of Max. Like, Paul Bearer is incredible, but yeah, you're right. Like, his whole vibe matches with Undertaker. Like, Smack Mac is He needs wife beater.
I need wife beater. Where
yeah,
is he?
you're right. Yeah, we
He
are.
wasn't on this show.
Where are his jeans? You know, I like a wrestler in jeans.
Yeah, if you've never listened to the show and don't know who that is, by the way, we're not just praising a guy who beat his
No,
wife.
no.
That is his
That's WWE podcast.
yeah. No, he was wife beater. He was
Yeah,
he
that's
was a
his
big
name.
name, and now he's not here.
He's not dead. We don't know where he is. Like, he could be coming back, but
He will.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ty then, again, dissension. He accidentally hits Zabar with a chair shot. So then Zabar, he gets pissed off. He gets up. He just hits his finisher on Ty on a chair, which is, I don't even know how to describe the name. It's basically like a side sweeper type move, like a Miz type move. And then Cash, what's his name? Fucking Eddie Valentine rolls him up to eliminate him. So then we get Cash and GQ continue. They're hanging Valentine in the corner, they hit a double Van Terminator where both of them at the same time hit it.
Pretty
And
cool.
I'm like, part of me is like, if you're Rob Van Dam, this will probably annoy you to watch these indie guys just take your coolest move and do it in this shit opener. But it also looked cool.
yeah, it looks cool, and I would hope that it's clearly a homage. Like, there's no attempt to be like they're doing the like there's no attempt. They're just doing his move. So I'd hope.
Yeah.
You'd hope he's homage and feels no. I don't think that if he saw it, you'd feel any threat from these guys.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're just like those kids. Like,
He might be like, that's dangerous for like a child to do that move.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they call that move the 6-figure deal, by the way. They're giving their tag team names. Yeah. So then they're doing double 10 punches in the corners to VD. Then Valentine palm strikes GQ. And then he lifts Cash up with a power bomb so Dahmer can hit a Doomsday device. They're just making that their finisher. Then he gets GQ up for another Doomsday device, and VD win this match. I didn't even time it because I didn't know when it started or finished. I just have written here total shit show. And the champs win, which they should have. At least they got that right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst I've seen of Dahmer, that's for sure. But yeah, it's passable.
I don't think you can blame the wrestlers for this one. I think this is sorely on the Booker's shoulders.
Yeah, fair.
Like, what were you meant to do with this, you know? We cut, and then, oh, man. See, so much shit happens on these shows, you forget it when you're talking about it, and then you're reminded of things when you read them.
Yeah.
And this is when the announcer tells us this next match is an I Quit match. You're familiar with I Quit matches?
Yeah, someone has to yell, "I quit wrestling."
Usually, like, an incredibly violent end to a feud, a very high-profile match. This one, we get Danny Rose entering. One of the Ratchies, if you remember. Again,
The Ratchies.
Yeah. This again, we're probably going to be referencing stuff that people don't even know what we're talking about half the time. The Ratchies are a tag team, Danny Rose and Adam Flash.
Adam Flash.
They've been doing their own thing recently. So Danny Rose is back. I don't even remember if he was on the show last week.
No, I don't think Adam Flash was, though.
Yeah. He gets a microphone, and then it's such an indie show thing, but the mic just immediately starts cutting out. He's trying to cut this like intense and passionate, and he feels like one of the guys who could probably cut a promo, but of course that's when the mic doesn't work on him. And then he manages to say something pro CZW, and that gets a CZW chant going. And you can see him just be like, "Fuck it, that's fine."
Yeah, because he went on a massive anti-CZW rant, but ends with CZW fuck, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't know."
Everyone's like,
I
okay.
guess
So his opponent is Greg Matthews, who entered to Alien Ant Farms. It's funny, we got a Michael Jackson song and then a cover of a Michael Jackson song.
the superior version. Yeah.
Easy.
I love what I love about this is from the era as well is like everyone's just wearing like Slipknot shirt or like they're just wearing stuff that you would as a child wear to like sleepovers and stuff, but like as their actual adult clothes.
Yeah, and then what do you want as your entrance song? Fucking Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I can have anything legally no, but they're not going to stop us.
So the commentators remind us this feud was spawned like a year ago. They brought this so Danny Rose was already in the company because they call him Mr. Tough Enough. Like apparently his gimmick is that he was on the show Tough Enough for a season, and it didn't go well. He didn't get signed, obviously, but now he like that's why his finisher is called the Tough Enough Pile Driver. But Greg Matthews, who apparently did a bit better on that season of Tough Enough, but still didn't win. It's just another loser from the show claims that he's better at Tough Enough than Danny Rose, and that has been like a year-long feud that they've been had on ice for at least 6 months.
You can't prove it either.
Sorry?
How are you going to prove that you're better? Like, I guess if he got
he made it further on the reality show. It's like saying, "Oh, I'm better at Big Brother than you." So we got a feud now. But it is hilarious that like So even if you know nothing about CZW, they've not referenced this feud for nearly a year. This has been completely cold, forgotten about.
It's a crazy feud as well.
For the last however many shows, and now they're like, oh, remember this? They still hate each other.
Yeah, to be like, the feud is based on a show that's associated with a completely different wrestling company and is going to be the basis for the show.
So anyways, these two in this very old feud, we are getting an I Quit match out of them. And by the way, Greg Matthews can't wrestle. Danny Rose, at least, I've seen him be competent in the ring. Greg is like day one wrestling school, terrible.
It's crazy he did better on better. He is the better at Tough Enough.
Well, you can see why when you look at these guys.
Yeah.
Danny Rose is like a guy you'd see in a punk rock bar. He's sort of fat and doesn't look like a wrestler. And Greg Matthews is like a football guy, like 6'6", good head of hair. Vince would always go on about guys' hairs. Like, I swear some guys got hired just because they had a good hairline still.
Well, Stone Cold, I mean, maybe in spite of not having hair.
Stone Cold got over on his own, brother.
Yeah.
That was never going to happen. But yeah, so Rob Hartog is a big part of this match because
he's a huge part.
He's a big part of every match. But he has to have the microphone. He's doing the whole gimmick of like asking the guy if he quits when he's in a compromised position. But he's doing it at like Danny Rose pushes a guy in the corner and hits 2 chops, and Hartog's right there. He's like, "Do you quit?" After these brutal chops, like at one point he's got Matthews has him in like a half crab or something, and Hartog's like, "Is this it?"
Yeah,
it's just insane. But yeah, Rose hits Greg with a chair from the outside. Danny beats him. He's like hitting him with the chair and trying to sing the CZW song. There's a lot of Danny Rose singing in this match that I didn't appreciate. He's locking in the camel clutch, and Hartog's holding the mic for Danny to sing. He's singing the song from Cheers. Are you aware of that?
Everybody knows your name.
And that was better than his was. So yeah, Matthews makes the just slowest comeback ever with a low blow. He hits sort of a spine buster. He can't get him up for the spine buster. And then he goes outside and calls for fans to throw the chairs in. And it's almost like, which you could tell these fans would love to do.
Yeah,
that's like why they came to a show like this.
Foreshadowing.
And it's almost like they just saw Greg Matthews and they were like, "Nah, fuck you."
Yeah,
like not one person threw their chair.
There has to be just fans aren't. Despite what you may think, fans are not just going to throw away their chair for nobody.
At the second match and the third match in the show.
Yeah, like no, we're gonna sit.
Yeah, no, go fuck yourself, Greg Matthews. I just thought that was crazy. I've never seen fans turn that down, the opportunity to be a part of that spot. So Greg Matthews hits the snow plow in honor of his trainer, Al Snow. And Hartog's asking, it's so funny. Greg Matthews hits the move, and clearly Hartog couldn't see who took the effect. So he goes right to Greg, who delivered the move, and was like, "Do you quit?" And Greg's sort of like, "What the fuck? Like, get away from me." It was hilarious. Hartog couldn't have fucked this up more. Then Greg gets the mic and starts asking, "What does everyone want?" And he's doing the Al Snow like catchphrases from 4 years earlier in the WWF, and the fans just hate this guy.
Yeah,
and so do I.
Yeah, I just don't refute. Don't. Yeah, it's poor form. I don't think the fans will probably be like, "We don't. This CZW is real. We don't like fake shit."
Yeah.
So they'll be like, "Why are you doing all this?"
It's such a disconnect too of like who in this crowd even knows Al Snow.
Yeah.
I only know because the commentator just said it like 5 seconds ago. And then Rose, as he comes off the rope, Rose just smashes him in the head with a chair, pile drives him on the chair, then locks in a full Boston Crab as Matthews just says, "I quit" at 8:57. Easily the worst I Quit match I've ever seen. I'd love to see someone present me a worse one. This was awful.
Yeah, there wasn't much violence. It wasn't like, I don't know. It's hard for people who are not good at wrestling like these two to do an I Quit match because you just like, you wouldn't quit over that.
Yeah. There's no blood.
Yeah, there's no blood.
This thing went 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ron Hart, he should have been like, "I quit."
I quit.
Yeah, this match is over.
The whole fans would just quit on this match.
Do you quit? Yeah.
But it is like a wrestler that's like got to be the highest, one of the highest levels of like, yeah, it's like a main event spot usually for an I Quit match. You just throw it on these guys. I mean, I don't know. We've gone on enough about it. So Rose leaves, and Matthews then cuts a heel promo in the crowd saying he quit CZW.
Cool.
And everyone cheers, and so it's just a na 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 song. I really hope this is the last we see of him. That was
no
terrible
chance.
segment. He's back next week.
Yeah, he's back next week.
He's the commissioner.
Yeah. He owns CZW now.
So we cut, and then out first we get Kenny and Keno Murdoch, the Midnight Outlaws. Commentary is joking about how, did Kenny get bulimic since we last saw him? He must be throwing up a lot.
Good joke.
Yeah, he weighs a lot less.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, because it's just a different guy. And then the announcers introduce Ruckus and Jay Briscoe as they enter together. So, continuing on from last week, when the Midnight Outlaws attack these guys, they're now teaming up to take on the Outlaws. And I assumed under the mask, one of these Midnight Outlaws was Mark the entire time, and then they just found another guy. So
many guys have been this random guy.
This whole thing is very confusing to me.
Yeah, it is.
And even just keeping track of who's who between the Outlaws, because they're just masked guys in shirts now. Like, at least when they were the Briscoes, I'm pretty sure I knew who was who. But at this point, it's just... Yeah, Jay and Ruckus sort of running wild on these guys. Ruckus just hits all his big spots, including a shooting star press off the apron, which just gets a massive CZW chant.
We love Ruckus.
Right after that, Jay actually took an avalanche sidewalk slam off the top rope from one of these guys. And I was like, surely that's Mark doing that move. Why would he take that move?
Yeah.
And then it looked really dangerous. But then right after, Jay pops up and hits the same guy with his Jay Driller and wins this match at 8 minutes and 13 seconds. So the fucking Jay Briscoe and Ruckus got less time than the match before. And then they tease unmasking them. And I was like, okay, this is actually interesting because I actually don't know.
They do start going, I don't know if it's now, but like, someone's 18. They're legal. Now they're legal. Like, it's crazy that they just...
Well, again, because if you know the only reason they're doing this mask gimmick, but no, that's never been told to anyone.
No, so the fact that commentators are like, they're 18 now.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And what also makes no sense is as they're teasing unmasking them, Dewey Donovan runs in. Of all people, like the manager for the Hate Club, former manager for the Briscoes, which I guess is the connection. But again, like a year ago. And he runs in and then to try to prevent this unmasking. And then who runs in to attack Dewey Donovan but Mark Briscoe?
What? Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, okay, what?
It's some next level storytelling.
So I'm pretty sure the mask guys were Hurricane Kid and Towel Boy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but I don't know.
They are now.
Yeah.
But it must have been Mark Briscoe at some point. But I think when Mark runs in, they're like, we thought but Mark's 18 now. Mark's 18. And you're like, okay, it's a weird thing to keep shouting.
I wonder if his birthday occurred between these two shows.
I think it would have. So they're like, he's 18 now. He can wrestle. It's legal. And you're like, okay.
We can get rid of this gimmick finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, awful. The Briscoes then make a table like ramp in the corner. They put Dewey on top of it. Both get on the top rope. Oh, sorry, no, it's a platform. Like, you know how when they put the table over the corner so they can like stand on the corner? Yeah, they get Dewey up there and then they do a binary driver to him through another table, which looked really cool. And then that is the end of this segment. I was like, all right.
Very odd. I don't think potentially the best thing to do is to never hear Midnight Outlaws, never hear of them again.
I would
just move on.
I agree. I totally agree. And this whole Ruckus Jay Briscoe feud, we can get rid of that too. Makes no sense. And then for some reason, as if this segment hadn't gone on long enough, out comes Lobo. And he's at least ditched the suit this time. He's in like a jersey and jeans. Looks much more fitting to him.
Yeah. He doesn't. I don't know. He still looks like Julian from Trailer Park Boys, and doesn't look. Looks like a kid. Like he looks like a child. Like in that outfit. But
none of these guys you can buy them.
Yeah, he looks like he's in an advert for Nerf, like a Nerf gun. He starts cutting a promo about Best of the Best, which is a show coming up in a few weeks. I'm actually excited about it, to be fair. Based on how successful their first one was. If you want to listen to that one in the archives, it featured a Briscoe versus Briscoe match that might be the best match we've seen in CZW's history so far. It was just out of control. And since then, they've been trying to recreate it. Like, I believe literally on the show after that, they put them together again. And the magic just wasn't there. No, they've done that a few times where they've had amazing, like, I think Trent Acid was involved in one at one point, and then every week they try it again, and you're like, this just ruins it.
Yeah, you had it.
Just
let the match exist.
Yeah, let it roll.
And then to that point, Lobo says, well, I don't want both Briscoes in this time, so we're going to have you guys wrestle right here tonight, and the winner gets into Best of the Best. And I was like, okay, so we can have the Briscoes wrestle. That's what we get. And then... yeah, so that's the match we get set up for, Briscoe versus Briscoe. Did you think there was a chance we were getting this match?
No,
I didn't either. No. And especially because it makes no sense because Jay just wrestled a match, hypothetically.
Yeah. I mean, I know but also, they're not going to waste thingy. They're like, he's also young and they're not going to make him wrestle twice, I don't think, especially against his brother. And they probably would both want to put on an amazing match as wrestlers. So they'd be like, we ain't doing that shit right away.
Yeah, you can feel like... they do this so often now. You can feel when you're about to get the rug pulled, which feels way lamer.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get Jay and Mark Briscoe. They come out together to the same music. As the bell rings, the Doctor and Rockin' Rebel appear. They check on Mark's arm, telling him that he isn't cleared to wrestle tonight. And I was like, then why do we do any of this?
Yeah.
Was Lobo not aware of that? Like,
yeah, as the owner. Is he the owner? I think he's the owner. I mean,
keep
it's good
calling
to
him the
see
owner.
Rockin' Rebel back. It's always good to see the
it
Rockin'
wasn't good
Rebel.
to see Rockin' Rebel.
No, yeah, no.
They just need a reason to get him on this show.
I don't know why they love him so much. I don't know what it is.
It literally feels like you know when you do high school films or whatever in film class, and one of your buddies just wanted to be in it, and he's like, "When do I get written in? Like, when do I?" And Xandic's like, "Okay, you can go in as the Doctor."
But he's also the kid with the camera as well. So Rockin' Rebel must have loads of money, and he's like, "I want to be in this. I will fund all of it, but
I'll bring the beer."
Yeah,
that's all you got to say. So yeah, we find out this Briscoes match doesn't happen. Randomly, then the Messiah's music hits, and his commentary is explaining as he's coming to the ring. He's done waiting. He's received death threats, and he wants to know who they're from. And this is all really like, it's weird knowing that he's going to be attacked in his home and have his thumb cut off.
Oh yeah, is it pre that?
Yeah, all of this is pre that, but I didn't realize, and I'm not one to blame a victim, but I didn't realize how much he was just egging this on.
Yeah,
on the CZW
it's weird,
shows.
he shouts, "I dare you to come into my house and cut my thumb off."
You're kidding, but like not far off from that.
Yeah.
Like he cuts a promo on Rob Black. He said, he's like, I had this falling out because Rob Black told my friend he wasn't allowed to wrestle here if he's wrestling there, and that piece of shit can't tell us where to wrestle. So he's just shooting on him.
But also the crowd are like, "You fuck Nancy."
yeah. The crowd are well in on the fact that he fucked Rob Black's wife.
Yeah.
Which, are we just taking as fact? I don't really know much about it past that dark side of the ring.
No, I don't know really. I mean,
yeah.
He's a try. I wouldn't say he didn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to dispute it.
Yeah.
So apparently Messiah's fucked this guy's wife. He's railing on him publicly on these shows.
Yeah.
You got to expect some sort of...
You got to expect to have your thumb cut off. Like, come on.
No, this was nuts. But he thanks XPW for firing him, calls it a sinking ship, and then this huge CZW chant. This is where CZW should be aiming, though. Like when they were insulting ECW back in the day, and it's clear all these fans have much more fond memories of ECW. It's like no one's getting on board, but everyone seems to hate XPW.
Yeah. Burn bright, but yeah, it was over quite quickly, and it is good. But also, like Zandig trying to start a feud with ECW or bigger, you're like, bro, you are an ant to them. At least with XPW, there's some there's some potential there, so it feels a bit more easier to get into than like Zandig being like WWE, and you're like, bro, they don't care.
Yeah, they don't know you exist.
Yeah.
Like if Mick Foley was independent, he wouldn't consider signing with
you.
But then at this point, Messiah ends by teasing the crowd. He's like, "Do you want to know why Rob Black really hates me?" And he's about to tease, I assume, saying that he fucked his wife. And the crowd's like, "Yeah." And then that's when Adam Flash's music hits, which again is Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And he appears holding a ladder already. And he's like, "Listen, bitch, you don't work for CZW because you suck." And I'm like, he's in the ring, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're wrestling him.
Yeah, you must suck.
Yeah.
So let's have a ladder match. Messiah's like, fuck a ladder match. How about a barbed wire ladder match? And I'm like, it has been a while since we've seen one of those.
There's not been much barbed wire recently. So I mean,
well, there was famously a barbed wire ladder match where they wrapped it so tightly the guy couldn't open the ladder.
Yeah, it's mad to do it in this one, but not have barbed wire in the I Quit match.
Yeah, or a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Messiah's like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. I'll go get a barbed wire ladder then." And he leaves. And as he leaves, out comes Confederate Currency, Chris Hamrick. Had we heard of this guy before?
No.
You would have remembered that, right?
Yeah, I would have remembered the term Confederate Currency. That's such an early aughts name.
Yeah, and he's got a Confederate flag, like leather thing on.
Yeah, so it means that Rockin' Rebel is doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah,
because they've made this guy a Confederate gimmick, but Rockin' Rebel wears a lot of Confederate merch, but just is a rebel.
Yeah, and apparently this Chris Hamrick guy is also dating a porn star that Messiah fucked. Apparently, Messiah's fucking everybody.
Yeah, I
is
mean,
what
he's
I'm
a
taking.
handsome boy. It wouldn't surprise me if he would be fucking.
Especially amongst this bunch.
Yeah, crazy.
It's like maybe he doesn't look like Trent Acid, but he's just below the backseat.
Yeah,
boys.
he's like a 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 in real world, but in the rest of that's like 11 out of 10 in CGW.
Yeah. So then Hamrick, it's like it's a weird like self diss where he's like, "Oh yeah, well you fucked my wife. Well, tell me, how does my dick taste?" And it's like, "Yeah, but he still fucked your wife." Like what? Anyway,
Yeah.
Messiah takes this as a huge insult, and then a match sort of begins. He begins beating this guy down as Flash just appears with a barbed wire ladder, and then out of nowhere, John Cronus hits the ring. And the fans actually lose their minds for it.
Yeah, Cronus is back. I remember Cronus.
Yeah, Cronus. If you've not listened to the archives, he's been on like 3 or 4 shows.
He rules.
He's okay. He's like
Cronus.
He's like grossly out of shape here.
Yeah. He still rocks though.
He looks much worse than like the last time I remember seeing him.
Yeah.
And like things are going downhill for him. But I was gonna say he's been on like 4 shows, and like he's always just. They'll slot him in wherever they need a guy. So if you need a heel, he's a heel. If you need a baby face, he's a baby face.
If you need a Cronus, we slot in a Cronus.
Yeah. If you need a guy in a barbed wire ladder match,
Yeah, Cronus.
yeah, that's your guy. So we get Chris Hamrick and Adam Flash versus Messiah and Cronus in a tag team barbed wire match. Oh, man. Again, like I say, I think no one on the internet has talked more about these people than we have.
Yeah, 100%. Nobody, Cronus is barely remembered.
Yeah. R.I.P. But yeah, it's just chaos early. Flash and Messiah are outside with a ladder. Meanwhile, Hamrick takes like an ugly spill to the outside. Hamrick has the motion of a guy who's just got no natural athletic ability, where it's like when some guys get thrown out of the ring, it's sort of graceful. He like smacks the apron, then smacks the ground.
How you do damage.
Yeah, he does. Everything he takes looks like very painful. But he's wearing a Confederate flag, so it's sort of nice to see him.
Yeah, it's good to see him get hurt.
Fucked up. Yeah. In the ring, Messiah is just whipped into the barbed wire ladder. He's quickly just busted open. Then we flash over to Cronus, who has been in full control since the match started, but he's bleeding somehow. I'm like, I think he might have just hit a move, and then it's like,
Yeah,
just bladed himself.
Oh, it's like cherry. It's like cherry chocolate bar. Or something.
Yeah. It's awful. Messiah's laid on the table outside. Flash climbs to the top of the commentary area, which is like that upper stage area we talked about last week. He goes for a leg drop. Messiah rolls out of the way. He lands like tailbone first.
Yeah, it looks painful.
On the cement. It looked brutal.
It is just going to be cement. Like it's going. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of asses broken.
But this is why, like, it's the reason why Fandango had to retire the other day. It's like that top rope leg drop just fucks your hips up like something fierce. Same with the reason why Matt Hardy looks like someone poured cement into his bones. Like
both of Jeff Hardy. Talking of the Hardy, neither of them can walk particularly well.
But Jeff gets around better than Matt. And you're like, how's that work?
Yeah.
So yeah, we get Flash and Messiah. They both climb back up. Flash has a tube bundle. They're on top of the like stage area now, about as high as you can get. And Flash, someone like preemptively put light tubes there. I was almost curious, like, do you think these guys put these here, or do you think they just found them there and we're like, oh, let's use these light tubes?
I'd like to imagine they just found them there.
Well, I was thinking someone in a previous, like a Nick Mondo might have hid them there. And then, like, these guys were like, oh, let's just use
like a
these light
collective.
tubes.
Yeah, and then Mondo's like, fucking no.
Don't ruin my spot.
Yeah, Jesus.
And then it's crazy. So Messiah's on all fours on top of this massive platform. So no one can see Messiah in the arena. The camera's on them so we can see them. And Adam Flash just takes a wind up, and he could have hit Messiah in the back. He could have hit the floor next to him. No one would have made a difference. Instead, he hits the back of his neck and head.
You've got to be real, brother.
It's like the worst spot you could have hit this guy. And I was like, oh my God.
He's got to do it for real. None of this faking stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this takes Messiah out for a bit. And by the way, the crowds go crazy for the light tube. Light tubes still are sort of like a novelty here. So when you see a bundle of them explode, it gets the people going.
Yeah, asbestos.
Yeah. The heels have isolated Cronus in the ring now. And for no reason, Flash just lays out Hartog with a punch. And it was one of those where you could tell he didn't give him any warning because Hartog doesn't see it coming at all.
Quit?
Yeah, and then he quit.
Yeah.
Hamrick and Flash both get to the top rope. And Hamrick, this is talking about missed leg drops. Like the Flash one was definitely more painful, but this one would have hurt Hamrick's ego more because Flash is sitting on the top rope. Hamrick climbs up, stands on Flash's shoulders,
Yeah.
which is a pretty cool balancing act. Goes for a leg drop off of Flash's shoulders and just doesn't jump far enough and lands right on his ass, next to Cronus. And Cronus doesn't even sell it because he can't. He didn't get touched. It's such
He
a
knows
fun-
better than to sell it, but yeah.
And then right after that, Flash just hits his leg drop and gets the pin here. He doesn't get the pin. He hits his, and Hardtog calls for the bell for a double disqualification at 9 minutes, which makes no sense.
I hate the disqualifications.
Well, for one, why a double? Flash hit him. There was not.
Yeah.
But then I guess everyone's using weapons, but they had me in the entire. It's a barbed wire ladder match.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they should have immediately been disqualified then.
Yeah. How do you even start?
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad ending. I like Messiah, but yeah, this was, and there was some good moves in there, but just. Yeah, I don't like disqualifications. CZW's never done it well.
I legit think this might have been like a John Cronus being like, I'm not taking a fall. And you don't want to pin Messiah, so you just do this.
Yeah.
It's like, Adam Flash is like, you've got a title belt on him and you're giving him a push. Why don't we just have him pin the guy?
Yeah, just disqualifications, just damp squib.
Yeah, it's bad in a regular match, let alone a barbed wire ladder match. It's just dumb. We cut. And as I was this is the part, by the way, where I was like, man, I don't know about this show. I was sort of losing it for the show. And then once again, the Backseat Boys enter, and I'm like, hope is restored.
Yeah, they're back.
They're back.
Hope's back, Seat Boys.
Just a great entrance.
Yeah.
Outcome, we get the Backseat Boys in. They're looking incredible. Then out come two more big stars, the Hate Club.
Hell yeah.
And this entrance might be even better. Just the way that they walk slowly and they look like genuinely terrifying guys. Like, wrestlers try look scary, and a lot of them just aren't. Like what's Braun Breaker is a great example of a guy who's like, you just seem like a nice guy.
Yeah.
I know you're acting tough. If you see Nick Gage, walking down the street, you're like, that guy's killed people.
Yeah, legitimately. And that is the edge that maybe indies have over the main as well, because you are like, we don't know.
Yeah.
These guys will kill you.
Yeah. We don't know who they are.
Yeah, we literally do not. They have fake IDs.
Been to prison.
Yeah.
They enter, and then they do it's like literally just intimidation, but it's played so well. So they just walk straight into the ring and towards the Backseat Boys, and they just have to bail out and play pussies. And it's like they're literally just staring them down. It's pretty cool. It's the aura of the Hate Club.
They do have aura.
It's unmatched. The match can't even begin because Hate Club are just intimidating them. And then, as he's doing it, the referee tries to tell Nate, hey, let's just let him get in the ring, and he just throws the referee to the other side of the ring. No DQ.
Deserved.
Yeah, it deserved, but given what we just see, you think?
Yeah, I mean, Ron Hartog's always play by the rules.
Yeah, we're not gonna end this, regular tag match, but So Nate, we finally get the match. Nate and Kashmir in there. Nate, they do this stupid convoluted spot. I've never seen this. So Nate's working over Johnny Kashmir's hand, stomping on his hand, and then Kashmir goes to tag Acid, but he can't tag because his hand
hurts.
Damaged.
Yeah,
so he doesn't tag, and I'm like, this is so stupid.
That is stupid because the other guy should just reach out for it. Yeah, that is a bad reason not to be able to tag. Just hold him back
shoulder.
or just something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be my hand I can no longer tag.
I just think it's funny when wrestlers you can tell they have a spot in mind, and in paper or when you tell it to someone, it looks like it's going to make a lot of sense, and then you see it acted out, and you're like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
We get Acid engaged, then square up. Their exchange, because both these guys like to deliver roaring elbows. So we get each of them give their best roaring elbow, which I thought, Gage's was better. And he laid the guy out with him. Gage follows it with a fall-away slam to Kashmir. And then Nate runs in and double clotheslines both these guys. So it's sort of telling the story. It's like Backseat Boys can't get on offense. They're just getting fucked up by these guys, by the powerhouses. I will say, I can't remember a match in CZW where the star power is at this certain level. The psychology makes sense. I don't really know
chemistry.
Yeah, good chemistry. I don't really know who the heels and faces are going to be, but they all could be tweeners, so it sort of just works. So the Backseat Boys are begging off here, and Kashmir actually gets on the mic and cuts a promo. What do you think about that gimmick when a wrestler's mid-match and he starts talking shit to the crowd or whatever?
Depends if they're good at it or not.
I think that is
the line,
isn't it?
That is the line. Yeah, and he's okay, but it's. I know Trent's good on the mic for sure, but Kashmir's okay. But I'd rather, especially with he's not good enough to justify stopping the flow of this match, which
Yeah.
is a very good match.
Nick Burke did this last week, and I thought it was very lame.
Yeah,
This,
for sure.
this was fine.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like they keep just getting thrown out of the ring because they suck. And then they tease quitting and just walking out of this match, which, by the way, would make no sense because they did make it clear that the winner of this match gets a tag team title shot.
Yes.
Which I thought perfect. Like, makes sense again. Like, this
a tag team match for a tag team title shot. That makes a lot of sense.
Between the two best teams.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, they should be the second and third best team, but I'm not going to nitpick. But yeah, they tease quitting, and then Kashmir slides back under the ring and hits Gage in the knee with his bat while the referee is distracting. And then he takes what they describe, it looks like a water bottle, but then he takes a sip of it and spits it and starts selling, and they say it's rubbing alcohol. Spits it in Nate's eyes. And again, I sort of like that. It's like, yeah, these guys can't get the upper hand through wrestling, so they just got to cheat. It's like, perfect.
Yeah.
Hatred hits this awesome top rope release German suplex on acid. And by awesome, I mean super dangerous.
Yeah.
It was basically acid doing a moonsault.
Yeah, and Hatred's like a big, if the weight was wrong, then he would break his back. Or, yeah.
Yeah. And then right after, Gage gets the hot tag. It's a huge choke breaker on acid. Boot scrapes both these guys. I think there's something with Nate and Gage where if it's smaller guys they're in the ring with, they just have fun fucking them up more.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, they take way more liabilities with these guys.
Yeah, and they probably like, you're the fancy boys, you're the young bucks of the thing. Like, the tag team might not.
I bet Gage is like similar age to these guys.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he just had a much harder life. But yeah, they are just like, we want to actually break your legs.
Yeah.
There is probably a line there, especially at that point in time where Gage is like, I want to break their legs.
Yeah. These boot scrapes are so snug. He's literally just kicking them in the face with his boot. So we get a bunch of chairs and a ring thrown in. And this is what I love about, CZW, is in most point tag matches where the match breaks down, someone starts throwing chairs in, you get some chair spots. Nate Hatred, the camera turns and he's just got a full barbed wire board being thrown into the ring.
It's just like a cutaway joke from Family Guy. Like, it's just, it's insane.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, great. We're going to get more than chair shots. And again, like, no talks of a disqualification or anything.
Why would they?
I hate if you're going to introduce disqualifications to this universe, then just make it make sense.
The CZW verse. They should. Nothing
Say
makes
this
sense.
is an no DQ match.
Yeah.
They tease the board, laying it on 4 chairs, so they've sort of elevated it. And Kashmir blocks a press, but then he's powerbombed off the top rope through this thing. Just brutally. Like, because for some reason, Nate doesn't just put him flush in the middle of the board. He hits him just where one of the chairs are.
Yeah.
So not only is he hitting the barbed wire board, but he's just getting slammed on a chair, and he's just like, you can tell it just fucked his back up.
Yeah, they don't. I feel so bad for they was going through so much, and the painkiller will be alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Or painkillers.
Yeah. True.
And then right after this, Nate Hatred eats a Yakuza kick, but then he turns around. He gets brainbustered on a chair for good measure by Nick Gage. Literally, Gage, you can see him improvising because the board was off the chair, so there just happened to be a chair there. And as he's pulling him up for a brainbuster, he's like, I'll just do it on the chair.
Yeah,
and it levels him. And then right after, Hatred gives Acid a Rikishi driver. Then Nick Gage frog splashes him. They sort of spam all these big moves on Acid. And then it's the win at 18 minutes and 54 seconds.
A rare justified 18-minute match.
Yeah, great match. I just really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And then, next show is Hate Club versus VD, which I actually think might be good as well. And the Backstreet Boys, again, for 2 weeks in a row. Backseat Boys. They, again, get their sort of hero's departure where, the heels are gone already and they regroup and the fans cheer as they leave.
Yeah.
They are, again, I say tweeners because that's the perfect word. They're meant to be heels, but they're lovable. And you can see them sort of starting to turn them face.
Yeah, because the heels when it's against Hate Club, they're the baby faces for sure. But against other people, the cockiness comes off as heel stuff.
Like against the softcore connection.
Yeah, they're heels.
It's funny because you saw both on this show, actually.
Yeah.
And then, I forgot this too. They also do, they showed a close-up of Johnny's back, and he has, legit puncture marks from that barbed wire. Nothing gory or anything, but you just see, 3 or 4 deep, punctures.
Yes.
And then they stretcher him out.
Yeah, because you can hear, Trent Acid being like, we need a stretcher. But then they also... He is a shuffling Kashmir's shuffling himself along the floor to get to the
Yeah.
stretcher.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to stretcher him. And he's like, kicking his leg to move across. And you're like, oh, this is so bad. They don't get into the ring. They just make him like push him across. It's very,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like you would do.
yeah. It's if he was dying the way they were acting, yeah.
It's almost like when a guy sets himself up for like a swanton or has to like turn or whatever.
Yeah,
and you're like,
the commentator's like, look, I hate Kashmir, but I don't want to see the guy like this.
that is a good John House.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish we could play a clip of him so people know how accurate that is. So then we cut, and it's main event time. And it's about this point, I looked at the running time on the show, and I'm like, oh, this show is only 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Celebratory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, when you messaged me, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's good. Because
Because those 40 minutes are where it feels long.
yeah, that's 40 minutes. It's always the tipping point.
So yeah, it was good for our main event. It is just funny though that it's like if you were to go to one of these shows live, you literally it could be an hour and a half, it could be 5 hours. Like,
Yeah, you'd have no idea. That's the your partner's like, when are you coming home? And you're like, I don't know.
when John Zandig says so.
Yeah, right, yeah, literally walking like the man with no name. And you're like, he's just going to CZW.
Yeah. So Justice Payne just looking
Justice Payne, that's good. That's
fucking
good. That's
big
good.
as ever.
He
dude.
is getting bigger and bigger.
Each week.
Yeah.
He's on the Brock Lesnar like regiment here. He's just so fucking like
No, Brock Lesnar was on the Justice Payne regiment.
yeah. And then out second, the God, sick Nick Mondo. With just
He looks so cool.
He does. He just is like we're talking about star power. This guy is the biggest star on the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, with like the sick written on his. It's such a cool look. Like it's so simple, as often most like memorable gimmicks are or looks are. But he's just got sick written on his forehead. He's just walking out with like wood or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, he just looks great. And he's like, bah.
Yeah. And the little Mondo is in the front row as well.
Yeah, little Mondo.
And it's funny because
Little Mondo.
Nick does this whole like superstar slow walk around the thing, and there's someone with a sign in the front that says Nick Mondo equals Hulk Hogan. And I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think in moral character for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, way bigger deal here
Yeah.
in CZW. Imagine how Hulk Hogan would be received if they did that lights off gimmick and it's just Hulk Hogan.
You don't know who I. Yes, we do.
Yeah, WC Dub. But yeah, we start this match with good reverses. Mondo misses a dive outside, and it's almost like Justice Payne is mad at him for fucking him up because it's fucking up the spot. Because instead of like hitting him with a chair, he throws this chair at him, like whips it as hard as he can, and like bounces off Mondo. But again, like we were just saying about Hate Club, there's something about Nick Mondo where it feels like all of his opponents have no problem just laying it in with him.
Yeah, because I imagine Mondo, from what he said, looking back, probably before the match was like, go as hard as you want. Like,
Yeah.
I want to not be able to think. Like,
Yeah.
Like, and Justice Payne's probably like happy to oblige. But Payne, it's been good to see Justice Payne sort of grow as a wrestler because he definitely did start off dog shit, but he is he's very talented. Like, and he's worked hard together.
But at the same time, I like the rap about him was always that he was extremely arrogant and and would take liberties with guys in the ring. And I feel like he's almost getting to that point where it's like, okay, he is clearly a big fish in this small pond.
Yeah.
But I think he is aware of that, and it's going to his head a
Yeah,
bit.
it's maybe just before the bitter twist comes where, a wrestler so they start getting annoyed and taking the piss or whatever. I think at this point, though, he's got good chemistry with Nick Mondo, and he's good to watch.
When he feels like the top guy, he feels like the guy they're building the company around, and I don't think it's a bad choice. They exchange like big moves, big stalling fisherman driver from Mondo for 2. Like he holds him long enough where the fans just start to applaud the strength, and then he hits it. Justice Payne makes a comeback with a super dangerous belly to belly, like literally on Mondo's neck. I don't know why he did it this way. And then he sends him outside, sets up a table ramp. This is where I felt bad for these guys. So like Justice Payne sets up a table leaning against the fans, so the legs are going into the audience, and it's just sort of lean there. And as he comes back on the apron, Mondo from one side of the ring to the other is meant to drop kick this chair that he's holding into his face. But because it's such a far dive for Mondo to reach, he sort of like 1 foot glances the chair. And then it leaves Justice Payne to have to like hit himself in the face with it. And then he tries to jump from the apron through the table he's just set up. But it's also just a bit too far away that he doesn't really hit it.
Yeah, I think because at this point, but I think as well, you're right that I think in the future, maybe just Payne wouldn't have bothered to, but at least now he's trying to sell it a little bit. But yeah, it does moments like that where he shouldn't have. It would have. The better thing would have been to not sell it. I think not to hit himself in the face with the chair. But I think he wants to do the match because it does look silly, and you are sort of. I mean, I know wrestling's silly and it's all fake, but you don't want to know that. We don't need to see that.
When I think if you were to knock anything about Nick Mondo, he almost is too ambitious sometimes. Because I feel like this was a Mondo spot. Because he would always do the thing where he falls backwards into a ladder or a table. And it's just like, I don't know, man, maybe hit him with it from in the ring or just do a running drop kick.
Just do it a bit closer or something. Like just there's a way to do it that isn't you jumping the entire length of a ring.
Because it does sort of kill the momentum here a bit. Because I do think these guys have great chemistry together. And they are just like, again, it's just two guys who can actually wrestle. That is sort of the difference. Mondo tries to dive on Justice Pain, but he completely overshoots it and bails into the crowd. And then, almost cool, like Mondo tries to save it by chucking the chair at Justice Pain, and he ducks underneath the guardrail, and the chair bounces off it. It's
pretty good.
That was a pretty cool improvised moment. Like
it's mad Justice Pain can still move that fast, considering he is a Titan-esque size from like God of War.
And then, so they sort of reset a table outside because that one didn't get broken properly. And it feels like Justice Pain's pissed off at the spot not going well because he just gets in the ring and really sloppily throws Mondo over the top. He doesn't even hit the table, and Mondo just splats on this concrete. It looked particularly brutal, but Mondo can take it.
That's what I mean. That's why I think Mondo maybe was just like, just fucking do whatever you want. Like we know.
But I think you can, and I'm not just saying it because that was always the thing they said about him. But you can tell when Justice Pain's getting frustrated in the ring. It feels like when a move doesn't go well, he gets like pissed off, and then he gets more aggressive and like acts dangerously in the ring. Like there was a couple really snug suplexes where he just drops Mondo on his head, and it's like you didn't have to do that, man.
No,
that was controllable, and it's unprofessional. Not that I'm trying to rail against this dead guy or anything. I feel bad that
Yeah, if there's one thing, and we shouldn't really attack CZW for being unprofessional because it'd be like DQ. It'd be like everything. Let's stop
what
this.
I like about it.
It's unprofessional.
That's
dirty.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Justice Pain after doing this, he grabs a bag, clearly thumbtacks. He just empties them all over the canvas, and then in the next motion just gets Mondo up and tiger suplexes him onto the tacks. Which again, it's always funny when you also have to take the move, because when you see Justice Pain get up, he's got 3 tacks like right in the back of his head.
Yeah, you have Shimizu stabbing himself from Tekken. Where you're like, bro, you're doing a lot of damage to yourself though.
And this is funny. So Mondo rolls out of the ring, and he goes under the ring for something now. And Justice Pain sort of leans over to see what he's doing, and Mondo swings this like a sack like 10 times bigger than the one Justice Pain just had. And he swings it at him and hits him in the head with it.
It's good camera work.
Yeah.
There's actually some cinematography. I don't know, maybe they've got Stanley Kubrick behind doing CZW or something.
Well, then so Justice Pain's down in the ring. Mondo gets in with the bag and dumps them at just the biggest bag of tacks you've ever seen.
200,000 thumbtacks.
He dumps them on Justice Pain. And just immediately hits a springboard leg drop just on his body covered in tacks. It just looked awful, but the ring is now covered in tacks. You would be hard pressed to find part of the ring that isn't covered in tacks.
It's like the end of Crystal Maze, where it's just silver all over the floor after they've been in the big crystal.
Yeah, and you would think they would do this maybe for the finish, but there's like 10 more minutes in this match. So every move from this point on is being done in thumbtacks.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is, yeah.
Which is just nuts, yeah.
Too many thumbtacks.
No, not enough. Nick Mondo teases his assault driver, which is sort of like, how do you describe that? Like he's on your shoulders and you just pull him forward. But then Justice Pain gets out of that. He hits the fucking Pain Thriller. And again, like for some reason, just neck and shoulders. Like that's where Nick Mondo's landing here. He just
neck and shoulders.
Gives him the disgusting crunch up fucking Pain Thriller on this massive pile of tacks, by the way.
It's crazy that Nick Mondo survived.
Yeah, it's
like
nuts.
Is still alive and thriving.
Oh, it's crazy that like a lot of deathmatch wrestlers
Nick Gage is still alive.
Well, deathmatch wrestlers die from prolonged abuse, like a lot of guys with head trauma and stuff. But it's never like an immediate, like, oh, he broke his neck.
Yeah.
Which you'd think would happen a few times because they're doing such dangerous bumps here.
I mean, maybe we just never hit like backyard wrestling. There is a lot of people who break their necks.
Well, yeah, and Thumbtack Jack actually just came to mind as a guy who got.
Did he break his neck?
Spine.
Oh.
It was on a spine buster on a bed of cinder blocks.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously, yeah.
He
Like,
busted his spine.
yeah,
bro.
crazy. Yeah.
But this is where I sort of hated how they did this. So Justice Payne hits the Pain Thriller, his big finisher. Nick Mondo kicks out at 2, and
No one's ever done that.
no one's ever done that. Apparently, I could have sworn they had, but we'll go with they have
Yeah,
it.
it's not like One Winged Angel. There's no way to verify.
We've seen every single episode, and I can't say for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But the crowd is reacting like this is a big deal. The crowd's sort of like that's like cool.
Yeah.
And then Justice Payne, as the crowd is reacting, like they're getting that whole like smacking the floor and shit and going crazy. And as that's happening, Justice Payne gets him up, hits an implant DDT, and pins him. Like as they're still reacting from the previous kick out. And I'm like, he should have done the 30 seconds of like, what? Like just sell it, you know?
Yeah,
let the moment
that-
breathe a bit.
That might be his arrogance, though, because they're all cheering for Mondo at
Maybe.
that point, where he's like, and I don't like Mondo. Like, I
Then
want
why
to
let-
be.
Then why let him kick out of your move to begin with?
I mean, maybe he didn't want him to. Maybe he
Yeah.
like really vehemently disagreed. Like, we don't know, I guess, behind it, but it also could just be maybe he's actually a bit hurt. Like, there could be a myriad of reasons
You're
why.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't get too on it. I just felt like it was a really cool moment. And
Yeah.
that's how the crowd took it.
Yeah,
And,
it's-
and if it had prolonged a bit, it might have been better.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, like in AEW when Hangman Page kicks out of it, like there's breathing space.
Yeah,
there's like
yeah.
room for it, and you're like that. Whoa.
What a moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this implant DDT, Justice Payne gets the clean win here, 18 minutes and 3 seconds. And I will say, I feel like the way they're building Mondo, I didn't think it was the right time for him to win the belt yet. So I sort of thought this was.
Payne's still the biggest. It's still the one they want to be big. I think Gage is rapidly approaching being the biggest star, like as a homegrown thing,
Yeah.
which maybe might annoy. I mean, I know obviously there's a history there, but
I mean, they're
yeah.
literally brothers.
Yeah,
The
they, like-
rivalry is going to be right there.
yeah. I mean, but Justice Payne is the one they want to be their big name. So yeah, it makes sense. But obviously, I love Mondo, and it's good storytelling to not have him win, like be right away and be champ too early.
Yeah, exactly. Which you would assume they would just do with these guys.
Yeah, they can give him another 7 titles anyway. They've got so many in the locker.
Yeah, and I just thought this match was great.
Yes, very, very good.
Everything a main event should be. Even with the botch aside, it's not like it ruined the match.
No.
And this was 18 minutes.
There's a million thumbtacks there.
Yeah. So as Justice Payne is celebrating here, Lobo reappears, and I this gave me the most just douche chill energy when he comes in with the mic, and just it's because of how unconfident he speaks. He's just a very poor speaker.
Yeah.
He says, "So how was my first show, everybody?" And everyone just cheers, and you're like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, you did nothing.
Yeah, you were just I hate him. And yeah, this is like I have it written here because you've must have seen this at show. You know, after the headliner goes up at a comedy show, and then for some reason the MC decides to do like a couple
20
more minutes.
Yeah, saying instead of just saying goodbye, he's like, "Oh yeah,"
and the crowd's ready to go. They've all just seen the headliner,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, have you guys seen the
Dude,
news?
fuck off. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is over, man. The show's over.
What's the deal with ending shows?
So Lobo announces Justice Payne versus Trent Acid is the main event of your next show.
That's exciting.
It didn't make a ton of sense, but
Make-
it's exciting. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, the only sense it needs to make is good wrestler v good wrestler. Like,
Yeah.
I will take that at this point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, wasn't like Trent Acid was playing
Doesn't
lackey?
matter. The good wrestler v good wrestler.
I just remembered that now. He was Justice Payne's lackey on the
Good
last show.
wrestler v good wrestler. It's still a rarity enough.
And then he also says, and by the way, also next show, Johnny Cashmere will be wrestling against Steve Rises. And you're like, well, why even announce this? That's not a person to us. Like,
Yeah,
shut
no,
up.
they do that a lot. Like, Steve, he isn't anyone, right?
He's the guy who wrestled Jerry Lynn last
Oh,
week and got pile driven.
You see how quickly I forget this shit?
Yeah, this wasn't in our previous run.
Yeah,
This happened
no.
last week.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've completely forgot that.
And then just as I'm about to like throw something at the computer because of how dumb this all is, Zandig's music hits.
Yeah, and that's what dumber thing could you throw to make it better? But
Yeah.
Zandig.
That's the only make good here.
Yeah.
He appears from behind. He appears like Lobo and Big Daddy Smooth are looking at the entrance, and Zandig rushes the ring from behind wearing a lucha mask for no reason.
It's pretty funny. I love Zandig, man.
just
He's
beats-
so cool.
He beats the shit out of all these guys, hits his big spinning clotheslines, and then he gets outside and tells the fans to throw the chairs in. And when Zandig asks, they all comply.
It's so sick. It is awesome. Like, it is legitimately a cheat code for making any show good because it looks so cool. Like it is, it's something you don't see unless you go to an indie. Like to see this on it and like how fast and you're like, no, that's so dangerous.
You say we don't see it. This is like the 5th time.
And
CCW
but I
have
mean
done
like
this.
in mainstream wrestling and things like that. Obviously, you don't see it because it's so it's really dangerous.
It's
It's
just
far
lawsuits.
away. But now it's just like it's so cool to see these impossible objects flying in. Like it's so bad.
I've heard people who have been at shows where this happens, and they say it is genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, because an audience member could someone's gonna have a bad throw.
You're watching people just get decked in the back
Yeah,
of the head,
yeah.
and it's so noisy.
Considering how it happens with like cups of piss or someone like bare, like imagine that, but it's a chair, like a steel chair. And but it looks so awesome. It's like a Renaissance paint, like a massive painting you'd see in a museum, just all these chairs flying in and just filling up like the Titanic. And you're like, this is so sick.
Do you think once they're covered, like at the bottom, that they're even feeling anything anymore? Like,
Regret. They're definitely feeling regret.
Yeah, other than shame. And things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think I don't know if it would hurt more than I don't. It probably does hurt, but I think the fear would be like not being able to breathe. Like I don't think there'd be that much. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should try it. Maybe if we hit 100,000 subscribers, we will get in the middle of a wrestling ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say if that first episode last week, let's say, like 5,000 views, 1,000 views, we'll do the light tube thing.
Yeah.
But if you get us to like 10,000 views,
We'll jump off the
this place
building.
with chairs.
Yeah. Not 10,000. We need more money than that to fill this with chairs.
Yeah. And then, I have written here at the end, Danny Rose and Adam Flash come out. Like, they've already changed into their civilian gear, which looks just like their wrestling gear.
Yeah.
And they start digging these guys out as the fans are chanting CZ dub.
It's so awesome.
That's how this show ends.
It's so awesome. I love it so much. I don't know when I'm going to get sick of it.
I was about to ask if they do it next week. Are we getting sick of it yet?
I'm so on board. This is the rare use. We were talking before about getting the Magic back using the same match. Magic's still there no matter how many times. Like maybe because I've not been a big indie wrestling guy. I've only ever watched like AEW, WWE. So the novelty is still to see hundreds of chairs flying in like arrows. Like we'll wrestle them in the shade, like 300 style. Like it adds an extra point.
Well, and to be fair, like ECW invented this, and when they did it organically, everyone thought it was the coolest fucking thing
It is,
ever,
yeah.
including CZW.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, it might just be things being thrown into the ring because it's awesome when Hulk Hogan announces that he's a bad guy, basically turns heel and everything, and that's amazing. I mean, obviously the history behind that, but maybe it's just shit getting thrown into the ring. I love.
I always love streamers too. In Japan or like Ring of
What,
Honor
like
would adopt it.
Asmongold getting through.
No, just like when a Japanese legend comes out and everyone at once throws a streamer.
Yeah.
It looks fucking cool. as
Less
well.
dangerous, but still cool.
Unless someone just lights one up and then
Yeah, Molotov. Yeah,
Didn't that happen, by the way? Sorry, I know we're ending here, but not to go on a tangent. But didn't
like the MC, the famously you've fallen into the trap of continuing
I'm
it.
doing a Lobo.
Yeah, you're doing a bit.
No, but didn't once they did this spot and then Zandig tried to like light the pile of chairs on
Probably.
fire? or
Yeah,
something?
they've always tried to light everything on fire. Like, it wouldn't surprise me.
So that is our show. A higher level of pain. What are you ranking this one out of 7?
I would say a higher level obtained
Wow.
in terms of wrestling compared to last week, not
Yeah.
generally. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the most part. There was some dog shit that I'd maybe blocked out until you mentioned it.
Yeah,
so I
you
was
gave-
maybe remembering it better. I think because the ending's so awesome to me, like it is a real cheat code to get to a good score in my head. But I think there's enough goodness in there to be like a decent episode overall.
Well, yeah, last week I added a 2. And this week, up until those last 2 matches, I was like, man, this is like an awful show. I thought this,
Awful. Okay.
I
interesting.
really thought the show had been terrible up till that point. Because the barbed wire ladder match had some good spots, but it was just fucking
Backseat Boy, we saw him twice. I thought the Nick Berg was all right.
The opener
like-
was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these last 2 matches to me is when the show really became good, and so I went to 2.5. But yeah,
I think.
it featured one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the DQ I remember. Yeah, that was actually bad.
And the tag team mayhem, like just before
Yeah.
that, was fucking awful as well.
I think because you have a more intimate knowledge of wrestling, that bothers you more when you're like, because I'm just like, yeah, that was a bad match, but you're legitimately, and like really angry about it.
I just think about the thought, like what the thought that went into it or
Yeah.
lack thereof, and it bugs me.
I think it's probably a 2.7. Could I go 3?
This was not a 3.
Yeah, we still got to leave that. Yeah, 2.75. So it's getting there.
Wow.
I think it gets an extra 0.25 for the chairs. That's so sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do love it too. I would like to see it. Maybe.
That's going to top off an insanely good episode, and I'm going to be like, straight away, that's a 10. Just immediately jump there.
Yeah, it'll be like some big, like a revolutionary moment, like a crowning of a new champ, and then everyone starts throwing their chairs in. Yeah, so this was, a show I'd recommend going out of your way to watch, especially the main event. If you've never seen like one of these classic CZW, just violent spectacles, it was pretty cool between two pretty big stars.
Yes, yeah, it definitely would be in there if we're ever famous enough to have a wiki and our like a recommended match. Definitely very good.
Yeah, and the tag match before was pretty cool too, if you just like seeing Nick Gage and stars. So, but that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week. I forget which show we're releasing, but I know in a couple weeks it's Best of the Best. We've got Tony Wright coming in here to guest with us as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Please tell everyone you know about this show, that you like it. If you're a wrestling fan, if you know niche fans, we want to get the word out. So thanks so much for listening. Keep it tuned to the Wrestling Brain. I've been Jordan Sharm at FunnyJordanD on Instagram.
I've been Ben Stead at Pink Hoverboard on Instagram.
And we'll see you next week.
Comics in the combat zone. Comics in the combat zone. Usually we make you laugh, but now we're watching guys get stabbed with light too.